Most people don't know where they are in their own life, but they still look for them same people, to tell them. Resilient ones. So I got a question. Are you behind, aligned, or are you ahead? For your life's main goal. So I get enough time, which is absolutely crucial. And I want to point this out enough. Not too much, not too little. To reflect on my life. My life being the experiences that I've had so far, the accomplishments, the failures, if you want to call it that. And yeah, I say sometimes you do. You have those failures. The accomplishments, if you want to call it that. Because from what I've experienced is that even with every accomplishment brings higher levels of accomplishments that I seek or gravitate towards. In other words, you can always do better. And on the flip side, you can always do worse. If it's one thing I can say without a shadow of a doubt, is that throughout this process, especially when it comes to goal setting, because at first you're just scrambling, I'm trying to get money. Then you realize I've made this, I've made that, always have bills. Go back to that systematic mindset. At least I do. And that took time to gain the maturity level to get back to that point where I've had to reassess and really refine these goals that I'm working on. I've had to eliminate as many distractions as possible. Some of those distractions even being those habits that you have, that we have. Especially a big one is what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're consuming, how you're taking care of yourself. These habits, or you working out or your exercise regimen, these habits, and then making sure that you have a place that's designated, a time that's designated. Two things: place and time that's designated to actually fulfill those goals. If that might not be the goal, that's not a main goal, or is it? Right? But something major, something that big like life goals. Where does life go without goals? This process has been a learning experience. Everything that I've learned in the past, in the present, and then in this mind of mine, learning how and dissecting. It's a saying, they call it pouring out your cup, right? If your cup is too full and running over, you can have some dirty water in that cup and you need to filter it. When it comes to water, that's a whole nother topic, right? You may need to distill it. You may need to restructure it. You may need to put intentions in it. It goes on a whole nother level. But really, that level, especially when you start speaking on life goals, you need to have clarity on what your life goals are. You need to be able to actually have that level of discernment to make sure that what you're choosing, you can maintain it. I don't believe in lofty goals, okay? What I do believe in, from what I know, is whatever goal you have, you actually have to have it in you to go ahead and put all of the pieces together. That could be different resources. Sometimes that's the network. Sometimes it's funds. I kind of bundle that into resources as well, because realistically, all of them are certain levels of tools. Communication, that's a skill set. Being able to be presentable around different people, different networks, and then actually having, okay, and I really do mean this, all right? You have to have a certain level of authenticity, because that's major. That means that you really do have to know who you are. That's a part of your character or your characters that you've built. Because it's true. If you are the same around everybody, that's a great thing. It is. And sometimes it's not. Because you can have certain levels of unrefined character that you didn't even realize it was undefined. It just so happens that the network you are around or have been around accepted that. But you never knew, because they call it an echo chamber, whoever they is. I've heard this before, and it's just people that won't actually tell you the truth. They'll coddle you and, oh, it's all right, and oh yeah, that's fine, oh, that's perfect. I've grew to a point where, not even a counter, I would rather have a harsh truth than somebody just give me these little sprinkles of lies and tell me this is that, and I don't need that shit. I don't. Maybe you do. I've already come to understand that this world is so complex. You can simplify it all you want to. It was someone that I was listening to, a mentor today, and one of the things that he actually brought up was people wanting you to simplify information. You can't simplify your experience. How do you, oh, you live, you die. That's simple. It's that in between that is so complex and has so many different variables and variations, experiences, and all of this, to where, hey, when someone says, how do you want to live? Oh, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And that's true. Because how many days can you take it at a time? It's like, come on, now, give me something else. Give me something else. But that's the whole thing. When you already have that in you, you don't have to go through situations thinking that, okay, I'm going to go outside to try to find the answers. You'll say, okay, I'm going to think about this. I'm going to reflect on this, and I'm going to utilize the resources that I have available. Once I do that, then if I go back outside after that point, after you've done your due diligence, then I know how to ask the right questions. What? I know how to ask the right questions. Do you know how to ask the right questions to yourself? Serious question. Do you know how to ask the right questions to yourself? And then when you get that feedback, because you will, it'll come to you. I asked for clarity. Who gave me that clarity? Was it the experiences I went through? Did I know what was going to happen on a day-by-day basis? No. Did I know when I would get that inspiration and that information would come to me? No, I didn't. You don't know certain things, but you do continue to go. Especially when you're aware of, okay, this is my goal. What did I just say? When you're aware. You got goals. It takes different characters and different roles to accomplish some of these goals. It takes different skill sets. You have to be able to say, oh, okay, you know what? This is an answer that actually makes sense. Or, nah, that may work for you, but that won't work for me. And hold on, which character, which mindset am I thinking in? Am I thinking in the reason that it won't work is because A, B, C? A, I might not have the right skill sets to accomplish this. Oh, then it's, do you have the will, the determination to actually attain those skill sets? Oh, I'm not going to do that because we can go on a moral standpoint. It's against my morals and my values. I'll compromise those. What morals and values are you referring to? So, does being competent of your awareness of yourself and having the discernment to pick and choose your goals, does that really actually make a difference with what you're striving to accomplish? See, all of these questions that just come about, all of this reflection that just come about. But now, are you able to quiet the environment? So I'm riding. Instead of listening to music, making this post, making this video. And during this process of reflection, grabbing these ideas, what seems to be out of thin air, when the truth is this is even working or funny. You understand me? They have things in other places, they call them think tanks, okay? Where a group of individuals come together and they discuss different ideas. Now, that's a higher level. It really is. However, that can also be a lower level. It depends on the goal, which depends on the roles that the different individual has, and that depends on the characters that those. So you see how all of this kind of just comes right back to you having adequate self-awareness and the right level of competency to have that discernment. And if you don't have, are you even willing to start the process? You've already really started. To put as much effort and energy into really gaining that awareness, gaining the skill sets, gaining that competency, gaining that courage. Because the more consistent that you are doing these things, not only will certain things start becoming natural or second nature to you. You'll actually start being able to effectively and efficiently utilize your resources. You'll not only radiate, you'll have that energy that you'll be that magnetic source. My opinion, I could be absolutely wrong. But if I'm wrong, then I'm just going to be wrong on, or in my little circle, not even my circle, right? My skin. That's what this area right here, all right? To where it doesn't affect anybody else. So I can't, this is like, how are you going to scale anything when you don't even know what scale means? Or if you get that word, you take it out of context, and the only level of competency you have is getting on the scale and weighing something. Not saying that, hey, that means that your neurons, they still firing off. Okay, that's where it goes back to. But if you taking that out of context in the wrong group, in the wrong community, no matter if that's physically or digitally, if you are around the wrong people, okay, oh, you the laughing, you the talking point for the next year, okay? We're gonna invite you over just so we can have a good time. We're gonna laugh. Oh, we're gonna really laugh. And then you'll have to go through that loop of humiliation, of embarrassment, of all of these lower level feelings that releases these chemicals in your body and starts affecting your hormones and your thoughts and all this kind of stuff. Or if you're in the right group, right community, then not only will you be criticized in a positive manner, constructive criticism, what will happen after that point is that they'll actually give you certain types of actionables. Hey, this is where you can go ahead and research to where you can learn this right here. Or you can come over and just take your time. Don't worry about it. But read this book. Bam. Here go a dictionary. All right. Let's go ahead and let's read these different levels of the definitions, and let's see where you're not aligning just yet. Let's get this business book, since this is the direction that you want to go towards. Let's go ahead and start you off here. Let's go ahead and here are some courses so that you can gain the level of competency to where when you're around individuals, you don't embarrass yourself. Even though you may not be worried about it, you don't even embarrass others. Now, I personally, I'm not really worried about that embarrassment stuff. I've already embarrassed myself many times. I'm probably embarrassing myself now. However, it does not matter to me. Reason being is because I understand that I'm already in that state where I put myself back into that sponge state, especially with doing things like this. Is social media a goal? Like literally, seriously learning how to develop and really not just posting, not just content, because this is a whole ecosystem of tools that we can use, that are being used. It's something that you can do correctly. It's something that you can do incorrect. If I want to communicate as clearly as possible, if I want to expand the reach that I have to provide services, products, education, then at a certain level, I need to understand, what is this really about? Which means that I'm coming in as a baby, quote unquote. I'm coming in to this with very little knowledge or wisdom. So with that being said, you're going to have to be all right. I'm going to have to be all right with not knowing exactly what to do, what to say, how to say it on this platform or on any other platforms. But does that take away from the fact that you're having the actions and going through the experiences to know that, hey, if this is a part of the goal, but this is not the main goal. If your life goal is, hey, I just want to be a social media influencer, okay, great. What if it's, hey, I want to be able to assist others in their developmental process? Okay, cool. I want this to be an accountability community that's being set up. Okay, cool. For what? That's something that you'll have to decide. For others, it's to view it, to understand it, to be able to relate to it. For some, it may be, okay, I need a set level of instructions and actionables to do on a daily basis. I need somebody, which I would say, hey, if you're looking for somebody else to just give you all of these instructions, one thing, yes, it can happen. It's out there right now. Just search it. However, no one would actually know the exact things, experiences that you went through. So you have to eventually learn how to become that system builder within a system, within a system. Okay. Okay. Because if not, and if you really think that you being the individual, the unique being, entity that you are, that it's one template or whatever template out there, and that you could just drag and drop here and there and here and there, and that's gonna just make everything roll out the exact way that it needs to, then that's that level of naivete. That's one of the things that you need to throw out there, because yes, certain things work, but then what about the rest of it? There's a book I read called It Works. I don't know if it's a derivative of The Secret. It seemed like it is. But this book was a gift that was given to me years ago. And I can't disagree with anything that's in this book. However, what I can say is that with certain situations, you have to get to a point where even these books resonate on the level that you're at, and you can actually still have actionables behind it. Because if you haven't really started the process of cultivating your mind, you're going to have many goals. And as much as you could think that, okay, I said, I don't think that it's lofty. I think you have to reflect on, are you ready to accomplish that goal? Are you mentally ready? Are you physically ready? Are you financially ready? Are you spiritually ready? And then go forward with the discernment of making the choice, starting the process, but while you're going through this process, absolutely setting up the systems that's necessary to accomplish the project that you chose. Like, no disrespect If you're currently working, let's just say you're working at a 9-to-5 job, restaurant, and you don't have any experience actually working for yourself, building a business, building systems, then your level of discernment needs to go towards, hey, I need to learn first about these systems. I don't need to just quit my job. I need to learn about these systems. The easiest thing to do is to go from one trap and go right into another. That's one of the easiest things to do. To go from one trap right into another. And it's only you that's trapping yourself. Now, these things hit home, they hit my heart, they hit everything. Because like I said, that main goal, is that main goal financial freedom? Or is it freedom? Because you can have financial freedom and still have to be doing things every day. Have other people's responsibilities. Other people you have to, and I'm cutting off for a reason, because these are other levels of topics that the deeper that you go, you start to understand, at least I have, you have to simplify in order to multiply. So, does that not make sense? If things are so complex in your life and you haven't taken the time to go ahead and simplify your life, to reorganize your life, what is a restructure if you don't actually have a system in place to reorganize? To end this conversation, take the time that's necessary to reevaluate your current position, your current role, your current roles, your current character, your current goals. And then ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? And why? What is the ultimate purpose of it? After you do that, after you've taken the time to do that, then come back around. Come back around and really say, okay, you know what? If these questions I'm able to answer, then do I need a strategy? Was that something that I was missing before? Was a strategy, a plan of action? Did I need to know what is this entry point and what is this exit point? Did I need to know that as well? Was environment something that I truly needed to be concerned about? Was my health something that I truly need to be concerned about? Or were these my strong, absolutely strong qualities that I had and habits that I had? Ask yourself, and then come back around. Resilience. Yeah.
They told you that surviving was the goal. Survival of the fittest. They told you that once you made it out of the fire, the battle was over. The battle may have ended, but the war is timeless. The war on the mind is a war on the heart.
Are your actions distractions? Is your focus a cage?
Not you. Not you.
Resilient ones.
Don't let survival be your cage. The walls you built to keep the pain out will not be the barriers keeping you in. You were not born to just endure. I was not born to just endure. You were forged to break through. I am forged to break through. Resilient ones.